So it's time for another gardening week video, and Willow and I even washed the car. It was that quiet a week. But I have been down the plot a few times and I've been concentrating on tidying up. So I really went through the whole of the plot and removed everything from the nooks and crannies that had accumulated over the last 6 or so years. And it's really nice now. It's looking really tidy, and you know, I like things to be tidy. So yeah, it's kind of very relaxing down here. And I've also been just preparing beds. I can't really plant at the moment because the weather's all over the place and it would really be a little bit too cold for the seedlings. And then like today it's blazing hot, so it would be too hot for them. So I need things just to get a bit more stable, and that looks like it's going to be the case next week. And I've got a lot of stuff that is about a week away from being ready to plant. So that's almost perfect timing. So I cleared one of my old brassica beds, and that is now all ready for planting. And I cleared one of my Asian green beds, and so that's ready too. And got them mulched. And one of the nice things actually that happened this week is that my compost supplier, KC Compost, they contacted me and said that they now have mushroom compost back in stock. I am highly delighted about that. I love mushroom compost, especially the kind of strawy, partially composted stuff that you get at I get at this time of year. When you contact your supplier, if you do get mushroom compost, you can often ask them whether you want it, and they'll supply it either really well composted or sort of lightly composted. The lightly composted stuff is very strawy. It makes for a perfect mulch in summer, and obviously by the time you get to winter it's kind of really nicely rotted down. It's finer when you don't need to do any sort of water retention. But at this time of year, sort of going into spring and obviously summer, this strawy sort of very light fluffy mix that we get is a perfect mulch. So highly delighted to get that again. And again, the supplier, if you're in this area, is KC Compost, and it's £2.50 for a 40-litre bag. So I think that is a real bargain. And I do still make a lot of compost myself, but this stuff is just the premium product as far as I'm concerned. I also got 8 bags of well-rotted horse manure for my potato beds. And so that is really nice, because the thing is with mushroom compost, it's perfect for almost all veggies, apart from potatoes really, because they do add quite a bit of lime to it, so it is quite a limey mix. I have actually grown potatoes in it in the past and they were just perfect, but I just don't want to chance it, so I'm using horse manure for the potatoes. The other thing that I did was I swapped around some of my lids. Now the lids that I have on my plot, they're all the same size, because all the beds are the same size. And so I took the low tunnel that's been over the kales all through winter, and they needed it because they were only little kales when they went in sort of September time, and you know, they needed a little bit of protection to get well established. Of course they're now nice big plants, and they're going to be feeding us all the way through until May sort of time. They don't really need any protection now, other than from a mesh tunnel to protect them from the pigeons. But I have put a little bit of fleece over them because, you know, that we have got a -3 degrees C frost tonight, and they're not used to sort of harsh conditions. They've had plenty of cold and wind and stuff, but nothing directly kind of on them. So I thought I'll just give them that little bit of protection just for the next few days. And then I moved the low tunnel that was over them onto this empty bed that previously had brassicas on. That's going to be planted with lettuce or Asian greens or something like that later on this week. So what else have I done? Well, I did finally get a rainy, windy, sleety day that kept me inside for most of the day, and so I did manage to record at long last the update on how to use my book and how to use the database and how to use the book and the database together. So for anybody who is using my database or using my book, this is a good sort of introduction to all of that. And I do go through a little bit of what's in the book and what's in the database, but primarily I'm sort of showing you the technology really and how to use it. Finally, we've had a bit of rain. We haven't had any rain really to speak of in February, but we've had a bit of rain. We've got quite a lot of rain forecast, so I've watered all of my undercover beds and given them about 10 millimetres of water, and it's really nice to have done that, because that means I've now created space in all my water butts to collect all the rainwater that's going to fall over the next week or so. So I don't really like to lose or waste any drop of rainwater that falls on the polytunnel in the shed. I like to collect it all, and so whenever I get this kind of opportunity to empty the water butts in order to make space, then I really like to take it. And all the beds need it, because they've not had they had no water in winter. They've just had a little bit of water in, well, I suppose it is in winter, but in late February. And they've had some in early March, and just given them another dose now. The beds are fairly dry. They're moist, but they're, I wouldn't call them wet. So I don't really like to have them too wet, but needs must. You really don't want to have beds struggling for moisture when they're under plastic, even if it's vented on sunny days like today. They do really well under those plastic covers, but they don't want to be under any water stress. So I think the only thing left is the harvest. So there we go, there's the table. Just filled it again. We're down a little bit this week because we've got some people away on holiday, but yeah, still a nice harvest. I'll quickly run you through it. Quite a few things finishing this week. So this is the last of the welcome and the joy choy. I'm actually planting some this week to replace it, but obviously we won't have it for a month or so. So we'll be without those particular Asian greens, although we've got loads of Asian greens right now, so we're not short. I've got some Carvalho Nero, beetroot, onions, garlic, squash, curly kale, really good carrots. That's the last of the kailan. I really do like kailan. It's beautiful leaves on it, really nice. We've got no perennial kale this year because it all died in the big frost. We've got one cutting, so we've got to rebuild our stocks from that one cutting. And all this at the back here is spinach. We're doing well with spinach. At the moment, we're mainly taking out whole plants to make space for interplanting. So I'm not actually harvesting most of my spinach beds. So I need to get on and do that, but obviously there's only so much spinach you can eat. Field bean tops, parsley. I'll be putting the parsley outside soon. It's in containers in the polytunnel, but once it warms up a little bit, I need the space. And I've got two gorgeous smoothie mixes, and these are tatsoi, green baby leaf spinach, and this red kitten baby leaf spinach. Purple sprouting broccoli, colettes and Brussels sprouts, and then we're on to all the salad ingredients. So start in the middle, salad onions, salad carrots, miner's lettuce. I'm really sad to be coming to the end of the miner's lettuce. I've only got one pick left in the polytunnel and probably one pick left outside. The leaf quality is starting to degrade a bit on the stuff that's outside now, so and it's starting to flower, so it won't last me long now. That's probably the last pick of the salad rocket, because I need that bed to be replanted. I might get one pick off it before I replant it. And then we've got the lamb's lettuce, and well, we've still got a few weeks of that. In fact, we might even have a whole month of that, which would be nice. Salad onion tops, and then all these are the salad bases, and then just to mix into those, we've got some more of that tatsoi, red kitten and baby leaf spinach mix. So I'm going to make up those salads now, so you'll see those in a second, and they're looking really, well, they always look nice, don't they? If you like this quick video, my name's Steve, this is the Seaside Kitchen Garden and Allotment channel, and I'll see you soon.